Hello and welcome to another update for the Foundation. Although this one's a couple of weeks past when I actually wanted to put it out, I still think I got it out before there's a horde of YouTube comments asking me when I'm going to update things, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, I guess as a quick update on what's going on with me, I had an updose in the primary medication that I've been taking, and that seems to be pretty fantastic. If I keep up on it, I seem to be pretty good with my hands. I still have problems, and it's very kind of up and down, but I have some days where it's pretty normal. I mean, they still have still a lot of issues. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating, but I have days where I can actually function pretty well with the tasks that I do now. And even the bad days aren't too bad at this point. So a lot more sanity, at least on my sake, and I seem to be able to do a lot more. I can type fairly well now, and I seem to be able to get a lot more use out of the mouse without wanting to go punch walls or something to make it stop. But so that seems to work pretty well. They had another medication they want, well, technically they still want me to go on because it apparently synergizes and makes things better, but I took one of those as directed at night after food, and I practically couldn't get out of bed until noon the next day. I was so sick, and I was so sick that entire day. It was terrible. So I'm not sure if I'll try going on that, because apparently, as I've looked it up, like 1 to 4 weeks of those kind of symptoms before my body gets used to it, apparently, and I just don't know if I can be that down for a while, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, I haven't really put a lot of stress testing on my hands yet to see how far I can push it, how long I can go. I've been a little hesitant on that. I have been doing a lot more on the computer to kind of see, but I haven't tried to put like a regular day's worth of programming work in yet. And besides that, I've been out of practice with putting in a full day's worth of programming work so much that even changing my schedule around for that's proven to be a little bit interesting. But all considered, it's good news for me, and it should mean that I should be able to start much more of a regular programming thing going forward. I don't know if I can really necessarily go back to working like I used to do, but considering I have nothing else going on, I should be able to put in a decent hobby effort on this game, so that should be good. Just got to figure out how to ramp up my work, I guess, a little bit faster now. But that's a much easier problem to solve than having just busted hands. I'm also going to see some other doctors at the end of this month. We'll see what happens there. I'm basically just trying to get some second opinions at this point, because even as nice as this is kind of proving to be, it's not even really what I would consider a cure, or well, obviously not a cure, but it's not even what I would consider really relief at this point. I would like a lot more. I would like to be able to function at least part of the day without just, I mean, I haven't even done anything really on the computer today besides set this up, and I can already feel all the burning and stuff in my hands, so I would like that to, you know, not be a thing for at least part of my day. That would be wonderful. So I'm going to get second opinions with some other doctors, and we'll see if that takes me anywhere. But back to the actual game. So, as I was talking last time, I'm trying to look at certain parts of the game and see how I can simplify and better things to make the process of development faster and get more content together faster. Because my initial look at this game, although I had a pretty good way of targeting and dealing with a ton of different SCPs by getting this generalized system built out of their tags on the database, a lot of the other parts of the game were pretty ambitious and kind of based on the idea that there would be a higher level of excitement for this, and there's really not right now. Now, hopefully, if I actually get something that's more interesting, more exciting, I might generate some more excitement, but for now, there's not a terrible lot of interest, and so it's hard to justify some of the, I guess, bigger ideas that I had when previously. So I talked yesterday about simplifying some of the aspects of the base building, possibly simplifying some stuff with the combat, but I think I've got some pretty good ideas with the combat. A few other things I've got to work out, and I'll talk about that later. But I want to talk about the base today. So I brought a whiteboard, the one I use for all my planning and coding stuff. So with the base previously, as some or most or all of you have seen in the prototypes that I made, you kind of had full free leeway in how you built everything, multiple floors, hallways and rooms as big as you wanted, and that was kind of what I was going with initially, but there are a lot of complications with that style of doing the base. I mean, pathfinding alone is, and not just pathfinding validation to make sure that the players aren't making like a tiny hallway and then putting a large containment cell back there so that you put some massive SCP back there and then they can't do anything because they're trapped by this tiny hallway. You would have to make sure that hallways are big enough for whatever is behind them, and it's doable, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of bug testing. There's a lot of things you have to do to make that kind of construction setup feasible. So I was trying to figure out how I might be able to simplify that and still have an interesting base experience, and I also really want these base layouts to be available for containment breach scenarios, or maybe even an attack by another group of interest, because handling a containment breach tactically in your base would just be awesome, and it's something I really want to have. And I also want it to be more customizable. I always thought that the new XCOM games, although you can place rooms wherever you want and things like that, you don't really have much options. You're basically just unlocking features for the most part. And that was kind of dry to me, and it may have been more cool if you ever had an actual base attack where they tried to come into your ship and attack you, or your base in Enemy Unknown, but they never took advantage of that. And I want to take advantage of the base layout, and I also want the base to be customizable. So what I kind of thought is that so have the base in kind of pre-built sections so that the validation's already done. You already know that things can move through there, and you unlock these as you go along. So as somewhat of an attempt to put forth what I'm thinking of, hopefully the camera will capture this well. So let's say in the center you have like your access lift. So this is what connects to the surface, because these bases would be underground, would be my plan. So everything comes through the access point, and then the base would build out in rings. And the first rings, segments like, I cannot draw behind a whiteboard like this apparently. So I'll pull it over here and then show it, I guess. Although I don't think I'm much better drawing here. So these first four wings would be different feature type things. So one might be an admin wing that unlocks specific admin facilities or reduces the cost of your base. I mean, this is all still very much in planning when I'm trying to give a demonstration here. So might be administration type things, might give a benefit to like lowering costs. Maybe one of these, depending on your base, would be the overseer chambers meeting place, a specially fortified area where they sit and they do things, do whatever the overseers do, right? And one might be a special equipment room that gives certain benefits to a certain class of SCPs or something. These would be certain broad benefits for your base or for your organization in general. Specifically because these first ones would be kind of small, so I figured that they should be more oriented towards benefits such as that. But each of these would be built out. So let's say this one had a hallway structure that was kind of like, yeah, we'll say that. So each of these are rooms, and this has the hallways there. So it would be built out like that. Hopefully you can see that pretty well on my camera. So with this though, it wouldn't just be a raw preset, non-touchable thing that you build out. Each of these hallway sections can then be selected, and you could add in a security feature on them, special heavy-duty doors or a turret system, something like that. You could add security features in there. The rooms could be configured in certain ways. It would be my plan, but each of these sections would have a theme, and they'd be pre-set up so that it would work. So the hallways will be wide enough. So if you're trying to build a place to hold large SCPs, then the hallways will be big enough to handle that. And so then the next section out and the next sections, because I don't know how many waves out it'll go. Well, let's just say you build 2 more wings out here. Don't I have amazing drawing skills? It's fabulous. So these each section as you build out, then these sections will have more. These would be the ones that you would build like the containment facilities in, because they have more room for lots of different cells. And so you might have like a large containment facility, or a humanoid containment facility, or various facilities that are customized for certain SCPs. And if you have the right kind of wing, the right kind of containment wing, then you get bonuses for those kind of SCPs, and therefore you're able to specialize your bases to be more to hold certain classes of SCPs and have specific defenses to handle those. And each of these, of course, well, not of course, I haven't really talked about it, I guess, but like the other ones, they will have hallways and chambers that my plan would be that you could click on and customize. So maybe in this particular cell, you might customize it to have a certain kind of suppression system so that that SCP is handled better, because maybe it's tougher than the rest. And maybe you'll build these so that there's demolition charges to completely blow up the whole wing if something gets out. Different sort of containment things. So you can customize these wings as you wish, but each of these are preset objects, which then take away all the worries that I would then have with trying to get pathfinding and validation working, because that would be pre-baked into each of these sections, so everything will know how to move about. So if you have any questions on this, obviously talk in the comments, tell me about it, tell me what you think, tell me what your questions are. I can make a new video soon to try and talk about some of the questions you might have if they're not simple to answer, and we can see if this is an appropriate replacement for the original base strategy. Anyway, it's good making a video. Hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully talk to you soon and have more interesting stuff to show. Thank you for watching.